you good at that? Because I'm not.
Well, let's see.
You,
I think that's the
forward.
forward.
Up here. You got to do it up there.
I hate to do this. Nope.
Let me see.
Why
This
did
is
they stop doing it?
because I guess our technology. Well, sure not working, is it?
Nope.
Wait a minute.
I never know what's behind me whenever
Oh,
I'm
that's
giving
that's that. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe it's down here. Well, shoot. That won't help us.
Oh, maybe that's volume. Nope. Nothing's working.
Well, we need somebody to. Tell Lanny to run back and tell him the clicker is not working. Okay. So you want to say something to the group? Okay. Okay. We're going to do this during the open discussion. At the end. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. You're welcome. Good morning. I think we're waiting just a minute because we're having some technical issues with our PowerPoint. I've sent a rescuer back there to see. As you all know, the upgrade of this technical issue here in the McGuire Center is on the list of capital outlay. And we continue to have these issues. So we're hoping that, I understand there are not budgets out, what am I saying? They're sending out for people to, companies to recommend programs or, what am I trying to say? Bids, thank you, I need help. They are putting out for bids. So we're hoping that Lanny now is in charge of the clicker, because sometimes I get distracted. So anyway, we'll call the meeting to order this morning. Welcome to everyone, and happy February. We got through Thanksgiving. We got through Valentine's Day, and I'm wearing red in honor of that. And now we would like to have our patriotic song, which by Harriet Chase, if everyone would stand. If you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now I introduce Betty Lou Jonas, who's going to introduce us to our guest reflection speaker.
This Westminster Oaks resident really does not need an introduction because you see her everywhere doing everything. But there are parts of her earlier life that you will find interesting. She has a background in retail sales and in education with a master's degree in early childhood from Indiana University. She founded a business that was called Especially for You, which created professional gifts for teachers. She and her husband attended educational conferences throughout this country and Canada, and it was so successful that she even had a mail order catalog. After 14 years, however, she was a little weary with all of the travel, so she decided she would stay put and do some full-time volunteer work with her church and with the Women's Club in Clearwater. But when she and husband Larry, a retired optometrist, moved to Westminster Oaks, her volunteerism really went full speed ahead. They have 2 successful children, a daughter that teaches here at FSU, she teaches history, and a son who is in Washington, D.C. They have 2 granddaughters and 4 grandcats. Now, to make a very special presentation is Mary Jane Robbins.
Thank you, Betty Lou. One of the committees that I've been privileged to be a part of recently is the Chaplains Advisory Committee. This committee was formed at the request of our executive director, Shannon Sauls. And this was to have resident input on hiring a new chaplain. And the other members of our committee are Jeanette Collins, Martine Hoppy, Paige Jolly, Greta Reed, Susan Taylor, Len Turner, and Foy Windsor. They each represent a different faith community here on campus. In January, we held a Zoom interview with Jeff Lancaster. And Jeff and his wife Pin are from Houston, Texas, where he'd been a hospital chaplain for the last 10 years. One of the many things he was responsible for there was renovating 2 hospital chapels. Needless to say, when I heard that, he had my vote. The rest of the interview went so well, we all knew he was the person that we needed here at Westminster Oaks. He's only been on the job since the 1st of February, but is already making a difference with the residents and the staff. He recently heard that one of our residents had a major medical emergency, leaving the wife without her only caregiver. Without being asked by anyone, he got up and walked over to the resident's house to give her support and comfort. This was not even knowing where things were on campus. I don't know how he found the house, but anyway. He was also one of the featured speakers recently this month at our Martin Luther King celebration. If you did not get to hear him speak, you really missed a very inspiring and touching speech. He's now planning for the upcoming Easter season, along with learning all there is about Westminster Oaks, and especially you new people know how hard that is. Part of the committee's mission is to get all of you to know Jeff better and love him like we do. So I have delegated part of my talk to Jeff, and he is here to say a few words and offer today's moment of reflections. Jeff Lancaster, our new chaplain.
Good morning. It's good to see you. When I finished that Zoom interview with the committee of residents, I knew this was the right place for us. So it was a mutual sense of God's leading and coming together of many different things that pointed me in this direction. So I'm very grateful to be here. For reflection this morning, I want to do a little bit of shameless promoting, if I may. We are going to begin next month a series of meetings for a grief support group. If you have any interest in that, regardless of how long ago or what your current situation is concerning a significant loss in your life, then I'd invite you to sign up and find out more about that. And we'll have a one-on-one conversation. If you contact me, I can tell you more about that. But in the spirit of that grief group, I'd like to share with you for reflection some words from a Persian poet you may know called Rumi. This is what he says. Take a moment just to breathe and listen to these words. Grief can be the garden of compassion and love. If you keep your heart open through everything, your pain can become your greatest ally in your life search for love and wisdom. God bless you as you work here. Thank you.
Thank you. What beautiful words, and we want to welcome Jeff to our family, as I think we feel about that for each of us. We have a family that cares about one another and supports one another. So, and now we get back to business. We have our acceptance of our January 27th Residents Council meeting minutes that Darlene has shared with all the board members. And do I have a motion to accept? Any discussion, updates, or corrections? All in favor say aye. Aye. And the minutes are accepted. And now I have Gary Stillwell, who's going to give our treasurer's report.
Good morning. I have a little excitement today. The numbers have moved. There's nothing much more dull than this, but let's see. Yeah, our budgeted income is still $38,000. Our total income now is $39,544. You might wonder, where did that money come from? Well, it came from the foundation. Just got it a couple days ago. We had a foundation savings account down there. We made 3% in interest last year. So it is now in our general fund and is to be invested in something that makes a little bit more than hopefully 3%. Our expense is still $38,000, and we've spent $14,000 so far. We have 63% still in the kitty for us to spend. And our bank account balances, the general fund now has $95,000 in it. The employee gift fund is up to $27,000, and the foundation savings is at zero now. We've transferred it to here. So our total of accounts is $123,292. The February 2025 end of month financial report is always posted on the My Life in the first week of the next month. So if you want the details of this thing, just go there. They're right there for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary, and I am going to remember. Is there a motion to approve the treasurer's report? Is there a second? All those in favor say aye, and the treasurer's report is accepted. I do want to mention that Darlene has sent out to all of our committee chairs a audit or an annual report of their committee, and this is sort of an updating list of what members that you have and what kinds of things you've been doing as a committee, as well as any projections of financial need that you have. Now, we know everyone, when we look at the budget, you have been very frugal, those of you that have access to the budget. We appreciate that, and as you know, our main source of income outside of our little nest egg from the foundation is from the boutique. And we're not sure when the boutique will be open again, and we're hoping that maybe there'll be some pop-up sales sometime before long to generate some funds. But I do encourage you to fill out that. If you do need funds, we do have money. And also, if you feel like you don't need to designate any money now, you can always, throughout the year, do a budget amendment through the Residents' Council if there's something that comes up for your committee that you need to purchase. So just so you can, we want to update you on that issue. Okay, and now I'm going to ask Sue Wattenberg to come and introduce one of our new residents.
Thank you. Good morning. This morning I'd like to introduce a new resident who's living in Chasen Gardens, and that's Donna Scott. Donna, would you like to stand up? Donna grew up in Waco, Texas, and she's the oldest of 8 children. She attended Texas Women's University, where she majored in art. And while there, she joined a singing group and went on a USO tour of Germany. For the next 10 years, she attended 4 universities searching for her career fit. And in 1975, she completed her undergraduate work at FSU with a degree in nursing. And it's while she was living here in Tallahassee that she met her husband, Mac. Due to Mac's career in the Navy, they traveled for more than 25 years, including a stay in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. When Mac retired to Tampa, Florida, Donna was hired to set up a patient safety program in the hospital where a patient had had an amputation of the wrong leg. This started her career in consulting, publishing, and speaking about patient safety. She was the patient safety officer at Moffitt Cancer Center. It was during this time in Tampa that unfortunately Donna lost her husband to cancer. After her retirement, she moved to Miami to be close to her youngest grandchildren, and she lived there for 5 years. And then in January of this year, she moved to Westminster Oaks in Tallahassee, so now she's near her 3 older grandchildren. And she's looking forward to getting to know all her neighbors here. Thank you.
Thank you, Sue, and welcome, Donna. Okay, and now I'm going to ask Marie Coward and Linda, who have been co-chair, I think, of our nominating committee. Now, is somebody going to do this? No? Who did that before? It wasn't you. We do have our names up there, but again, there we are.
Good morning. My name is Linda Stalvey, and as Jane said, I'm co-chair along with Marie Cowart of the nominating committee this year. And first, I would like to thank the rest of the committee members, Richard Corbett, Bill Gill. Bill, are you here? Okay, Bill. And Julian Proctor. Julian's not here. The charge to the committee was to submit one name for each vacancy on the council. And this year, there are 5 vacancies, the vice president, who is also the president-elect, and 4 members at large. And in selecting our nominees, we considered the fact that they had been a contract resident for at least 2 years, We took a look at their involvement with campus activities, their volunteerism, participation in committees, and we looked for neighborhood representation and an understanding that resident council members represent all residents, not just independent living residents. And we considered a number of people who expressed an interest and some who were recommended by neighbors. And the nominees selected this year for a 2-year term, beginning May the 1st, is Almina Pettit for Vice President, President-elect. Almina, are you here? There's Almina. Please stand up. I want your future constituents to know what you look like.
Yes.
So if you have any concerns, that's Almina. Okay, Beverly Booth. Beverly Booth. Okay. Lisa Evans. Okay, Lisa. And Dee Jones. Dee. Okay. And Sandy Sarton. And a word about Sandy. No, as some of you may recall, Sandy was appointed by the council last year to complete the term of the late Pam Flory. So now we are nominating Sandy for a 2-year term of her own. And thanks to all of you for your willingness to serve on the council, and good luck.
Just a word to newbies. In the history of the Residents' Council, we have never had an election. That's since 1986. Thank you.
And now, officially, I say the floor is now open for nominations by residents. Do we have any nominations? Thank goodness. Hearing none, the nominees are declared elected by acclamation. So congratulations. Appreciate your willingness to serve. And now we have a special presentation again from the Sparklers. Beth Mercer.
I feel like I'm becoming a regular up here. Just one quick note, we talked about the upcoming Sparklers training in March, but I did not have specific dates and place, so that's what I want to give you today. The first date is Tuesday, March 18th, from 1 to 3 o'clock in the fireside room. The second part is on Thursday, March 20th, from 1:30 to 3:30 in the fireside room. That information is in our new brochure, or revised brochure, and there's several on the tables over there with our display boards. My contact information is in here, so please grab one. You have plenty of time to register. Yes, and you do have to register, so we have plenty of materials. So yes, please register, and you can either put the registration form, give it to Lillian at the front desk to put in the Sparklers envelope there, or if you see one of the Sparklers, you can give it to them. But anyway, so you have plenty of time to do this, so pick up a brochure, and all of the information is in this new one. So y'all sign up. And now, since by request, we are going to show y'all our video again. We've had several people say, I heard about the video and I didn't get to see it, so here it is again. So enjoy.
Westminster Oaks, let me tell you about a crew. The Sparklers bring light in all they do. Working with folks with cognitive decline, being there as buddies, helping them shine. We're the Sparklers, bringing joy each day. At Westminster Oaks, we light the way. No special skills needed, just bring your heart. Come join our mission, make a new start, be a buddy to one, or float around to many. Activities flowing, possibilities plenty. Music, pictures, games, and dance. Simple conversation, give connection a chance. 2 training sessions, that's all you need. Experienced Sparklers will help you succeed. Just bring the sunshine, that's your only task. Make their days brighter is all we ask. Watch faces light up, see them glow. That's the reward that keeps coming, you know. The Sparklers, yeah, they're shining so bright, bringing comfort and joy, making every day light. Come join the Sparklers, be part of our team, making life better than it may seem. It's a gift to give, and you'll feel the gain when a smile shines through the clouds of the brain. Sparklers, where the love don't stop, bringing joy to the top. Let the beat drop. And that's a wrap.
Okay, thank you for a little bit of laughter and enjoyment. And really, Sparklers are a fabulous group, and so we encourage you to, if you want to just become aware of the work that the Sparklers do, and whether you want to choose to take on an individual or participate, at least the training gives you a better insight into what may be happening in your family and maybe in your future, who knows. If I keep missing words, I'm going to be one of those, so here we are. Okay, I'm going to have Sally to come up and give us an update on FLICRA.
Well, how do you follow a rap? I don't know. That's really cute. Hi, I'm Sally Butzine. I'm your president of the local FLICRA chapter, and welcome to our new residents. So let me tell you what FLICRA is all about. FLICRA stands for the Florida Life Care Residents Association. So we are your residents association representing the residents' needs and what our interests are up in the legislature. So I wanted to update you because the legislative session starts in a couple weeks. So March begins the legislative session. And as it turns out, this is going to be a very vital year for CCRCs, which is what we are, Continuing Care Residents Community. So there's a statute called 651 that regulates all the laws and regulations pertaining to continuing care retirement communities. And it's been 10 years since that's been revised. And this year, the Office of Insurance Regulation is proposing a sweeping new regulation bill that will affect us and our quality of life. So the way things work at the legislature, there's a bill that's introduced, and then the constituents that have an interest start giving their side. So let me explain. Up in the legislature, there are 2 groups. There's one group called Leading Age, and Leading Age is the lobbying group, the organization that represents the owners and operators. And then the group that represents us, the residents, is FLICRA. And so we are your ears, your eyes, and your voice up in the legislature. And CCRCs, we are considered an insurance product. So that's why we are under the realm of the Office of Insurance Regulations. So just like an insurance policy where you pay your premiums and you expect when you have a need that the insurance company will cover your needs and what your requirements are. Well, similarly, as a continuing care community, we pay our entrance fee and our monthly fee with the expectation that we will be cared for the rest of our lives. So it's very important that the legislation not only protects what the owners and operators want, but what the residents need. And in the last 2 years, there's been 10 years since this has been renewed, there have been some real concerns around the state. Fortunately, we are very lucky here at Westminster. We haven't had these problems, but there have been a number of continuing care communities that have gone bankrupt. And this is tragic because not only do the residents lose all the financial, what they've invested in their fees and their monthly fees, but they also then have to move. So it's a real tragedy. So the residents need to be represented in the Capitol. So I highly encourage you, if you're not already a member, we have membership brochures here today. And Ruth Cates, where's Ruth? She's our membership director. She's there with some more brochures. So if you're not already a member, please consider joining, because Leading Age, the other group that's advocating for the owners and operators, they of course have lots of money, and they have a PAC, which is a political action committee that can make campaign donations, and a lot of times money talks. We don't have money, but we have members and we have numbers. There are 30,000 members of continuing care around the state. So we need your support in the numbers so our advocates up there at the legislature can say we represent people that vote. So please consider joining, and thank you very much.
We should mention as well, last week, Charlotte Cummings. I know, Charlotte, are you here? Charlotte was our district representative for North Florida for FLICRA. And so she invited the president of FLICRA, which is Pat Birdsall, to come. And the new representative is Gail Husbands. Not related. I don't think she's related to our Gail, to our Linda. But anyway, they came and they met with our board, along with Bennett Napier, to go over some of these new regulations that are being proposed. And then there was a brunch that invited all the captains. If you are a captain in your neighborhood, would you please stand for FLICRA? Now, these individuals are those that keep track of our membership, encourage renewals, and encourage all of our new people to join. So we want to thank you for all your hard work. There is a kind of a connection between Pat Birdsall, who's the president of FLICRA. She represents Indian River Estates, which is located in Vero Beach. Now, before I came back to Tallahassee for 21 years, I lived in Vero Beach. And Indian River Estates was a very prominent CCRCs. Now, at the time, I didn't pay much attention to the organization, but they were the first. They had a gentleman who had worked in the legislature who felt the need for residents to be, to represent residents with the legislature. So they were the very first ones to start FLICRA. So it's quite interesting. And from that, I think there are 12 states now that do have FLICRA organizations that represent CCRCs. So I just wanted to add that little bit because I do have a connection with Vero Beach. Okay, and now I would like to introduce Everett Yarborough, who's going to have a special presentation.
The clicker.
Good morning, everybody. I am honored and privileged today to talk about one of our longtime Westminster Oaks residents, Charles Nam. He has lived at Westminster Oaks for about 15 years, has been active in the Tallahassee community and at Westminster Oaks. He is a world-renowned demographer. He was bureau chief of the U.S. Census Bureau, professor at FSU from 1964 to 95. He's a founder and current research associate at the FSU Center for Demography and Population Growth. and that's only a little bit of what he has done. I could talk at length about his many other civilian accomplishments, but now I want to talk about his military experience. He is one of 3 World War II veterans living at Westminster Oaks. He is a World War II combat veteran who served as a staff sergeant in the U.S. Army from 1944 to 1946, and in the Army Reserve from 1946 to 49. He participated in the Battle of the Bulge and was among the first soldiers to cross the Remagen Bridge into Germany. Those of you who know history know that those were 2 of the fiercest battles of the European War. At Westminster Oaks, he has served on the Veterans Committee for many years. He is chairman for the last 6 years or so. I'm sad to announce that at 99, he's retiring as chairman of the committee. Charlie, would you come up, please? Now, would all the veterans in the room please stand? Thank you, veterans. I'd like to introduce John Tomberlin and Tom Napier, who will make the presentation. I forgot to.
Good morning. It is indeed, as Everett said, a pleasure to recognize Charlie Nam for his service here at Westminster and for all the service that he has provided as chairman and as a committee member, providing all the data to come up with the details on the Veterans Committee for Westminster. As Tom and I began to think about what type of award we wanted to present to Charlie, of course we thought about a bronze plaque or a brass plaque, you know, that's the standard thing, Charlie, right? And we all know that every veteran has a trophy room. Somewhere in the house there's a trophy room. So we wanted to come up with something that's different, instantly recognizable, that would give you your daily inspiration, Charlie. So we came up with a little decal that we want to show you, everybody. Charlie Nam, Staff Sergeant, retired. Down at the bottom, combat veteran, World War II, and of course the dates. And it's large enough, Charlie, for you to recognize. We wanted to give you this and hope that you'll find a place for it in your trophy room, okay? Tom, go ahead.
Charlie, we worked hard on that thing. I want you to understand that, buddy. We went around trying to figure out what we were going to do. Everett got on to us about be sure to do something original. Do something different. So John and I, we did. We met about 4 or 5 times, and we finally came up with that. But I want to ask him something. John, did we work hard on that?
Yeah, we did.
Charlie, you like that?
Absolutely.
Well, show it up high again. Show it up high again. Okay. But I got something better than that. We have got another emblem that's done by the Secretary of the Army. The pin that was netted to us by the Army to Charlie, and also from Arnaflight. So what happens, he's a member of both. So what we did, we got another one. And we put the emblem on from the Defense Department of the United States Army and also from Honor Flight. So it's going to go to him, but let me tell you about this thing. You see these things here on the back? Well, Charlie, you can put that emblem on your dining room table so you can talk to people drinking milk and everywhere you want to do. But this one, John and I got atomic adhesive that goes on the back of it. So when you put this on your wall, Charlie, you mash it good, but let me tell you something. Once you mash it, it ain't gonna come off. The paint's gonna come off, and the wall's gonna come down. So I'd like to present to you the Honorable, we turn it upside down, there we go, with the emblem of the Honor Flight, and also from the Defense Department, United States Army, dedicated to Charlie Nam. Everybody give a heavy applause.
Well, thank you. I didn't expect this, but the Veterans Committee is going to be in good hands in the future because Everett Yarborough will be the new chair. And if you want to learn more about veterans on campus or elsewhere, there is a website, and we have a lot of good information on it, both for you, your families, and your friends. Thank you very much.
Give us a minute. They want to get a picture. While they're doing that, I'll mention that the next Veterans meeting is March 10th at 10 a.m. in the pool house. That was the only place we could find to hold the meeting. Our speaker will be Major General John Haas, the Adjutant General for the state of Florida. He's a senior military advisor to the governor. He's responsible for the overall management and readiness of the mobilization of the Army and Air Force elements of the Florida National Guard. He will discuss the role of the Guard in keeping us safe. Today's world, with the storms and the hurricanes and the immigrations and all that, it's a very important position to have. This is a veterans meeting, but anybody's welcome to come if you'd like to hear what he has to say. Appreciate the time, and Charlie, thank you so much for all your service. I look forward to hearing from me, the veterans. If you are a veteran and are fairly new and have not been receiving emails from me, please contact us. We need to get you on the roster. Thank you so much, Jane.
Isn't it amazing what special people we have living here? You can live on a street next to our neighbors, and we don't know what wonderful, special things they have done in their lives until we start having a good conversation. So I just think we need to give Charlie Nam another round of applause because he is such a special individual. Thank you, Charlie. And thank you, John and Tom and Everett, for recognizing Charlie in this way. Really very special. I guess one announcement that I have, and I know they mentioned the Sparkler training was March 18th from 1 to 3. Well, at 3 o'clock, you can come in here to another town hall because Hank Keith, our new CEO, is going to be here. So if you have questions, you might want to send them to Shannon if you have a question ahead of time. But be sure and put that on your calendar because it's really an opportunity to meet our CEO and to have an opportunity to get some of your questions answered. So we want to thank Hank for doing that. I think now we have Shannon who's going to come and give us an update of our what's happening around Westminster Oaks.
No, I still haven't found a good story for the break in my foot yet. But I did decide it's time to wear some regular shoes. So anyway, so thank you for the announcement about Hank. I hope everybody will show up and meet with him. He's just an amazing person. The staff, as well as so many of you residents, are extremely supportive of him becoming our CEO, and how approachable he is and how down to earth he is and easy to talk to. And that's what I've found in the 26 years that I've worked with him. So I'm really, really pleased that that's happened and that he's making his rounds to all the properties. So first thing Liana says to say thank you for your 100% participation in Ad Valorem. I really, really appreciate that. Those of you who've stopped by her office probably saw all the flowers. Her birthday was Valentine's Day. And she looked at me and she said, never in my life, in any place I've ever worked, in any department I've ever worked, have I been so surrounded with flowers and candy and cookies and cake and love and cards and all of that. And so she was just all misty-eyed all day on Friday. So anyway, we feel so blessed to have her. Just to share very quickly, I reread an email from Hank. He said the lawsuit is still pending at the tax assessor's office. The outcome of that you may have heard is that they're going to come and do a new assessment. And as that information comes to us, I'll be glad to share that with you as well. The Dining Pulse survey is coming out, so please participate in that. Let us know how we're doing. So we have several things that we're doing in the dining department. We want to make sure that you're happy with the dining services. I got some really, really sweet emails for those of you who came on Friday night and ate the Valentine's dinner. I hope you really, really enjoyed it. We also have a team member survey, a team member survey that just came out. And Westminster Oaks had the highest participation of all of the Life Plan community, so we're really pleased that our team members are giving us their feedback. We reached 79%, which is huge for a property this big, 360 plus team members. And so all those results are going to be shared with our retention committee. So we have a group of team members that come together and work on all things team member wise to make sure that our folks are happy to work here. We really want them to be. Kelly Skiba has settled into her role as our new resident navigator. And so she's using the CAC's recommendation, their Q&A, as sort of a guide. So she's calling people before their move-in, during their move-in, and after. So that's been really, really helpful. She's doing a great job. And we've also increased our orientation time. So we're trying to do this every single month now. The housekeeping appendix is in the resident handbook. That's thanks to Kelly. That's the updated one. So she's still helping us out with that. And then the new resident icon for new resident Q&A has been sent to Laura Seaton, and she's going to submit this week so that we'll have that. When you look up on My W Life, you can see all the questions and answers new residents would have. Kelly's also working on the marketing packet. While she was in there, she said, hey, a couple things need to be updated. We're going to take care of that too. So we'll keep that up to date. And of course, the Westminster Games. I went and tried to learn the cheer with y'all. And I think I did a really bad job. But I tried to keep up with the residents in the new the Westminster Games cheer. It is very long and very complicated. It's what? I did okay. Well, I tried to stay right behind you, but I ended up in front of you. So I don't know if executive directors participate in that or not, but I'm going to be ready to come and play. The pub patio. So you see that's coming along slowly but surely. Poor James ended up back in the hospital again, and now he's back out again. And the furniture has all been ordered. It's all downstairs. It's ready to be assembled. So as soon as that patio is ready, we're going to bring all that up and assemble it so you can enjoy it. So really glad we got that in. So clinic. So the Health Resource Center clinic, we actually, Chris Wickberg pulled a separate permit for that because we're wanting to get that up and running as soon as possible. I know many, many people here, staff and residents, really want that operational. That doctor's office, FSU is chomping at the bit to come back. Clinic, Curana wants to get settled, and all of our specialists, podiatry and so forth, are all displaced. So we want to get everybody back in that space. So we're really working hard to get that done. We've already started cleaning out some of the things that were in the garage, cleaning them up and trying to at least put them in storage in the clinic and in Lynn's storage room as well. So we'll be working this week to try and get some fencing up downstairs so that we can start moving, those of you who have storage boxes, start moving those over as well. So we're expecting that to happen in the next 2 weeks. And then Laura and I are working on neighborhood meetings. A lot of y'all have come to the neighborhood meetings, and it's just a little bit more intimate, and we get to talk about just what's going on with you rather than all things general. And so we're working on some dates in March. So we may have a couple with morning and afternoon, but we'd like to start those neighborhood meetings again. So that's what I have for you. Any questions? All righty. Thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you, Shannon. You know, we hear, Shannon was giving a report on several of the committees, and I just want to reemphasize, which I think I do pretty much each meeting. You know, we have about, 26 committees here at Westminster, and one of those is the Housekeeping Committee. And Sally Search is our chair. Now, Sally sent me a note from north of Fairbanks, Alaska, because they're up there for a couple weeks looking for the Northern Lights. I don't think she's come back yet. Is she out here now? No. Anyway, they have been working very carefully with Karen Oliveira, who was our housekeeping, and they have come up with some updated features of the housekeeping services, and that's what Shannon had mentioned. It is posted in the resident handbook on My W Life, and we are going to summarize it and also put it under the module for My W Life. So I'm sort of giving an update of what the Communications Committee is doing. But housekeeping has updated that. So if you're interested, look at Appendix 5 under the Residence Council Handbook for the updates of the housekeeping services. Also, thanks to Peter Butzine, who's coordinated in the fall meetings with all the new residents, because we felt like there were some questions that weren't answered for a lot of new residents. And we have, you know, the contract, and then you have the handbook. But then again, sometimes there's some other questions that are not always answered. So through his leadership with the Communications Committee, and we've been back and forth editing, and we think, as Shannon said, we've got a final product that is going to be posted as a separate module for new and prospective residents, and also some, you know, if you're a resident here for quite a few years, you might even want to update some of your questions and find out some answers. Also, I do want to mention, you know, the My W Life is a work in progress. And we have a wonderful communications committee that is constantly looking at how to make it easier and more viable for you, you know, to communicate with what's happening here at Westminster. And if you see some obvious mistakes or there's issues on that My W Life, you know, you need, Laura Seaton is the one pretty much that does the coordination and placement of things on there. But, you know, Shannon or Vicki or any one of our board, any one of us is available for you to make a comment. If we, you know, we don't want things that are out there on My W Life that are not accurate. So it is a work in progress, and we want to make sure you're aware of it. And if you're not aware of the My W Life, you need to make sure you've signed in, because that's our vehicle of communication. What's happening in the dining room, what's happening every day, what's happening at fitness, you know, and just general information that is so useful for all of us as we live here. I think now, do I have any comments or suggestions from the board? Do I have anything from the audience who has a question or a comment? I think we have one back. Well, we got two, one there and one here. Marilyn?
Jane, I've done just as you have and suggested I use My Westminster Life religiously. And I've got very concerned from reading the projections on what the summer is going to be like. What the summer is going to be like, particularly with the heat. And I noticed that there was no heat plan in the section called emergencies. And the link on that to the Leon emergency preparedness doesn't also give any guidance on heat emergencies. And I would like, I've passed some of the email, abbreviation of the email I sent to the board members the other night. And thank you very much for responding so promptly. But I sent copies of the abridgment of that email as to why I'm so concerned. And I would like to suggest very strongly that council, some member of council or your committee, work with administration to come up with an ad hoc heat emergency plan if we have no power. Because we all need guidance on that. And we cannot draft our own plans unless we know what we can expect and what we need to be able to get on our own. Thank you.
I know Marilyn has shared her concerns with our health committee as well as with the environmental committee, and then actually with our maintenance and safety, maintenance, security, and safety committee. I would like for Lanny Cardona, who's actually served on those committees, because we were sort of talking about that before, to maybe give a few concepts from what is in our emergency plan.
Well, actually, Carol Booley is the chair of that Maintenance Security Committee. So, Carol, if you'd come up, but while he's on his way, if you all remember back when the hurricane hit Hurlburt Field and down south, when a lot of nursing homes, CCRCs and such lost power, and there were deaths as a result of that due to lack of air conditioning. The governor at that time, I believe was Scott, put out that all such facilities would have to have adequate air conditioning to take care of those people that couldn't take care of themselves. Westminster went out and had to contract to get such an air conditioner. It's so big, it's behind the health center over there. They had to get an extension from the state in order to meet the mandate, because air conditioning units that big were not built in the United States. And so it took them about, I believe it was around 2 years to actually get it and put it in place, which is the one that services the health center and this building that would be used during hurricanes and those kinds of centers. It would also be used as a cooling station. So there is adequate air conditioning for those in assisted living, memory care, and the health center. We as independent living are on our own hook because that's part of the plan. You are independent. And then we're also on the grid that is most easily has a priority with the Tallahassee facilities to get power back on because we're considered a medical facility. And with that, I'll let Carol address the rest of it.
I think what he said. No, and I've exchanged some information with Marilyn and the other members of the committee, but we are, as independent living residents here, primarily responsible for ourselves. I mean, I think everyone realizes that some people who are in independent living are probably not all that well capable of taking care of themselves, but as long as they elect to live there, Westminster Oaks expects us to be responsible for ourselves. Now, there may be some things we can do, such as perhaps there's some information we could have posted to MyWLife about dealing with heat emergencies. We did a similar thing, if you'll recall, having to do with fire protection procedures, safety procedures. For independent residents, again, that's our responsibility to look out for ourselves. So as a committee and working with the various people here as captains for emergency response, we instituted a program that's sort of run by the residents that does what we can do for fire protection and safety. So perhaps there's some things we can do, but I would just keep in mind that if you're an independent resident, you know, Westminster Oaks' responsibility is looking for people in the Health Resource Center, memory care, assisted living. They own that. The rest of us, we need to do the best we can to make any lifting we require as easy as possible. So probably all I have to say. Thank you.
Okay, I think Mary Ann had a announcement, I think.
Yes, I just want to remind people that OLLI regular classes start this coming Wednesday here in the McGuire Center. And there's a special one-session class that is next Tuesday morning with Corinne Stillwell from 9:30 to 11. But, you know, just contact me. There's still time to sign up for classes. Just get in touch with me because of the Westminster Oaks special arrangement for OLLI classes.
Thank you.
Excuse me, I had a question about the
question back there?
I had a question about independent living and emergencies, heating emergencies. We live in an independent resident, but the heating systems are maintained by Westminster Oaks. So if your heating goes down, whether it's heating in the winter or air conditioning in the summer, that's not our responsibility, is it?
No.
Okay.
Maintenance will have the upkeep and care of your unit. So if you have an issue, then you put in a work order and they will take care of it. Now, I'll give you a personal example. I came in one summer, late in the evening, my air conditioning was out of order, called security. When it's after hours, just a reminder, call security because there's someone on duty all the time. Within an hour, there was a gentleman that came from a special company. He looked at my unit and he said, I can't fix it, but I'm going to bring you an air conditioner. So he brought me actually 2 air conditioners in my villa, front and back. And the next morning he was there by 9 o'clock. So that was, you know, very efficient service. Now, if they couldn't have found the part or they couldn't have fixed it, they would have moved me to an air-conditioned unit somewhere. So I guess I have a comfort level that, you know, if there's an issue with your air conditioning or your heating, there's going to be adjustments that will be made and they're going to take care of us. Now, if it's electricity out all over as a storm, then as Lanny and Carol indicated, there's air conditioning here in the McGuire Center. And so there's options for you, you know, to take advantage of that if you don't have someone out in another neighborhood that has it. But, you know, Westminster's going to provide as best they can for emergencies. I don't know that that answers your question, but does anyone else have a comment about that? Okay, well, I want to remind people about tonight. Patsy Kicklighter, who I'm not sure is she here today. She had a little mishap, and so we want to take care of Patsy. But she has scheduled tonight a singer from FSU. I think it's a new professor or someone in the music department that's going to be singing love songs for the Valentine's Day celebration that we just had. And I want to thank the dining, you know, last Friday with the steak and lobster dinner, and I think it was just beautifully decorated and the staff was great. You know, our dining committee and our dining services have really not increased, but they continue to just surprise us and to wow us with what they're offering. As well as tomorrow, I think at 2 o'clock is a wine tasting. I think it's in the dining room for those of you that are interested. Also, I want to thank Gail Alexander for the singing Valentines last week. I know many of you were given that treat to have those lovely ladies to come around and give you a special treat. So, don't forget Friday the 28th, for those of you that love Willie Nelson, I don't think Willie's going to be here, but it's a Willie Nelson tribute, so those are always great fun. Is there anything for the good of the cause? Any other comments? Well, our next meeting will be March the 17th. I believe that's a special day, isn't it? Is that St. Patrick's Day? Yes. Be wearing all the green. All right. Thank you and have a great day.